good luck selling it for sale by owner on Zillow in this market right now for what the Zestimate says your house is worth. Moving forward as a buyer, there's not much change right now. You know, every single listing that's come on the market is the same area of compensation to the buyer's broker.
And it may not change.
And it may not change. But this opens up the conversation for sellers with listing agents. So hopefully listing agents that aren't in this room right now are educating their sellers and making them see that they're going to cut their buyer pool in more than half probably if they drop that commission. And they're going to make it way more difficult for buyers to get in that house. As a seller in this market today, you do not want to make it more difficult for a buyer to try to buy your house.
We just talked about it a couple of weeks ago, the MLS, right? So this is a little bit different where I would kind of lump them in the same, right? Because the MLS is where we see what the commission split is going to be. And it's proven that MLS adds an average of 17% onto that purchase price.
Right.
Right? Which
Huge.
Way more than you're going to be paying.
Right.
And so if you're on this multiple listing service and you're at a 0% or somewhere around 0%, you're going to be losing potentially that 17% because you're going to have a huge pool of agents that are just out of spite are not going to show your home.
Which is sad to say.
Yeah.
And if they're realtors, they're technically not supposed to do that. But
if they're having appropriate conversations with their buyers,
if their buyers can't afford it,
totally can do that.
Then 100%, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So let's finish with the things that your seller's agent shouldn't be saying, or that could be a red flag. The big one that we heard today was the industry standard is X%.
Right. Wrong, dude. Can't say it. You can't say it. One, it makes you look, as a listing agent, it kind of makes you look like a baby, I feel like. It's kind of like, I don't really know my worth, so the industry standard is 5%.
Yeah.
No. If I'm selling your house, I'm going to charge you 5% because that is what I'm worth. I'm going to give half of that to the buyer's representation because they're doing a ton of work as well. In fact, in a lot of cases, the buyer's agent's doing way more work than the listing agent. Yeah. But all the marketing and all the expertise that goes into pricing the house and getting buyers to see that house, that's what you're paying for. And if you're going to drop that, then good luck selling it for sale by owner on Zillow in this market right now for what the Zestimate says your house is worth. Yeah. All the luck to you in the world, dude. Call me when you're done dicking around and we can put it on the market.
Yeah. The other one is
that was strong, but
we've started to see this. So I would question, so you have a listing agent that's offering 0% in listing fees for them to list your property.
Without a doubt.
I would question that. What's the catch?
I would be very cautious getting into something like that. How are they making money? I mean, if they're going to pay for...
Are they tied into a 40-year listing agreement for you? So every time you buy or sell a property, you got to call Joe Schmo?
If they're going to pay for professional photos, drones, listing, open houses,
don't give everything
signs,
away that we're doing for our sellers, Cal.
The back-end website that we have, how are they going to cover those costs and still be okay to negotiate a deal for you? I don't know. I don't know how that happens.
Do you have any others that you like?
I'm sure I do.
Be weary. How about this? I mean, we've kind of beat this into the ground, but if they are gung-ho on board with offering 0% out to the buyer's agent, I would be wary of that too.
Yeah, if they're not
educated,
if they're not explaining to you how that could be a detriment to your sales price, your bottom line number at the end of the transaction, if they're not coming up with that for you, then run. Yeah. Because and as a buyer, ask them how they're going to get buyers in here who can afford it. And to be honest, dude, maybe this is okay for some of those lake properties, you know, those 10, 15, 25 million dollar properties, because the buyer's probably got some cash to pay for his attorney or his buyers, his representation. But for the most part, detrimental to the buyers. Detrimental.